Hello and welcome back. This is a little impromptu thing I didn't plan at all. I often visit the second-hand stores here to find components or mostly just useful stuff I can use for synth DIY. Now this is an Adler 1214 calculator from 1972. And despite being so very, very old, way older than I am, it's actually in really good condition. I bought this for €5 too, so the price was like nothing. And it fully works, it's very clean, no dents or scratches or other weird stuff, like even the underside, the label is just completely clean and new. The rubber pads are still there and they feel new. It's so clean, so it's pretty fantastic. The reason I bought this because it looks cool and I thought it would be a pretty good candidate for my little Z80 computer, although it may be a little bit too small, but we'll see, I guess. It's just cool nonetheless. I mean, look at this screen. It's a VFD screen, so vacuum tubes. It actually has 12 individual tubes in there. You can kind of see it because the numbers are not perfectly vertically aligned. It kind of just goes off in that direction. And these keys are so nice. It's just a joy to type on this thing. Like seriously, I could just type all day on this thing and I'd probably get a little bit bored because there's only so much you can do on a calculator like this, but they're so nice. It's really enjoyable to press these buttons, especially these two buttons here, which I no clue what they do, but they feel so mechanical and I suppose this would this count as button sexual? I don't know, but it sure feels like that. It's really cool, and not much to say about its functionality really, other than that it has some memory. It can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Something else with these two buttons. It has 12 decimals. I don't really have much to say about this thing because there wasn't that much information about this thing really. But, of course, as usually on this channel, I like to take things apart. So let's grab the old screwdriver and let's very carefully get cracking because I want to keep this thing pretty. So this is the inside. That looks quite neat, I will say. Now, this thing was made in Germany, in Nuremberg, actually. So yeah, obviously this is gonna be German quality. And I hear something rattling about. Looks like a piece of PCB actually. Well, it is still working. Of course the PCB looks wonderfully vintage. Okay, well let's take it apart a little further and let's see what's on the other side of this PCB. I'm gonna be very careful because these connectors with equipment this old tend to be kind of brittle. Plastic just kind of degrades, but this looks brand new. Still feels very strong. Look at that, that's beautiful. Okay, so there's a little rubber stud here that keeps this PCB from touching the other PCB under here. This seems to be the hooks that keep the screen attached to the motherboard here. And look at that, isn't that beautiful? Okay, I'll put this aside. Take a look at the inside here. Mains input here. The mains voltage switch. A transformer. Fuse. Not sure what this cavity is for actually. There's another spot for something here. It's probably for a different model of the same brand, of course. I think I found what are little pieces from actually. So if you look at this one, this is the K and A switches on the front panel. This one has two little screws here that hold in place. This one, however, has this bit broken off. You can see it moving around in there, and that needs a fixing. So yeah, there's actually something wrong with this thing. I'm surprised because, man, it's other than this. It's beautiful. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. Now, these are VFD tubes, vacuum fluorescent display tubes, and there's a whopping 12 of them. So it's not just one VFD screen like you see in slightly newer electronic products of the time. It's actually just 12 separate tubes. That's really cool. All metal construction as well. Like not a piece of plastic on the internals. This is also metal. This frame, this cover actually. Now this is something I really like about old electronics. Is that everything is labeled. So every pin on this daughter board is labeled with what it is. So there's the decimal, whatever SP is. So these are probably the different anodes, cathodes. I'm not sure what the order is of this thing. There you go. The tubes themselves are very pretty. That's very cool. And I think these are actually LEDs of some sort. Yeah, these are just the wires directly taken from the tubes. And yeah, they're all heat shrunk, I think. Yeah, this feels like heat shrink. So each individual wires. I'm not with care. I think I'll take this daughter board off carefully, and we can take a look at the motherboard. So I was thinking that this was just framework, but it's actually the connectors to the daughter board. So it's all just directly connected, and then it's held together with a clamp. One of these bad boys. Just clamp under there, and you have a little screw hole that screws into the daughter board, keep it in place. So it's actually very sturdily made. So this is the main board in all its glory. This is where the two front panel connectors were. I have two large chips, the HD 3538 and the HD 3539. Now, I couldn't find any information on these. They're made by Omron. I'm gonna guess they're just custom chips. Perhaps one is for control panel and interfacing with the various things on this thing. One would probably be a driver for the. No, I see a lot of traces coming from these two chips to the daughter board connectors. A lot of transistors. These are probably to drive the signals to the tubes. But yeah. So check out what these chips are. TM 4352P. It's 4 of them, so I'm gonna guess they have something to do with driving the display. So yeah, turns out these are indeed driver chips, probably. There was some guy who did some research into these and concluded they acted as inverters, but inverters that could drive pretty high voltages, up to minus 50 volts required for the VFD tubes. So yeah, that's what these guys are doing. And since well, we have 12 tubes, yeah, I guess we need 4 of them. And these chips, I just no idea. Probably a custom doohickey. The article on the driver chips also mentioned that the logic on these things is minus 15 volts, which means that a high would be ground and a low would be minus 15 volts. So that's kind of interesting. Also, ooh, somebody did not clean up the flux on this board. That's crusty. Now another thing I noticed is that the keys are all connected to diodes. So I'm gonna guess they're using some sort of diode matrix, but it almost looks like they use it for every key or something. Let's see even some empty spots and some holes for some extra keys. Looks like this board was designed for multiple kinds of calculators in mind. Now of course there's still the issue of this key, so I unscrewed it. I'll take a little bit of a peek inside and oh, that is interesting. Is that a reed switch or something? Or oh. So the good news is the switch does seem to be working still. But yeah, I'm gonna need to glue it. I'm gonna use some super glue, and hopefully that will keep this in place. Okay, so it has been glued in. It's not perfect, but hopefully it will hold. I also put on both the screws, so because they also keep the entire assembly in place. I kind of wanted to pull it out, but I couldn't get the key to come loose, and I didn't want to force it because it's already so broken. Let's just take a look at this PCB some more. Places of the PCB where the keys connect. They're all numbered, so you know which key is which. So this is the key 2, next to it is 3, 5, 8. And here's the divide key. Just some crud on it. Let's get rid of that. And all the screws all have a little dot of glue on there. Epoxy, whatever it is. So yeah, that was just a quick look inside of the German Adler 1214 calculator from 1972. Yeah, I guess we'll see what I make with this thing. It does have a lot of space in there, and I could definitely do something cool with it. I hope this button here keeps working properly. It would be hard to replace such a thing, especially something this old. And I'll have to see about the vacuum tubes. It does seem they need minus 50 volts, so obviously this one special voltages. I need to figure out if I can use the power supply of this, if I wanna use this video. It is so pretty. But yeah, I build things. I don't just admire them, I guess. No, anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.